Level 1. The new guy. An envelope arrives. No name, no return address. Inside, just a slip of paper, a time, a location, and 4 words printed in plain type. Do not tell anyone. You have been in the Indian Army for 4 years, 2 border postings, one operation that earned you a commendation that officially never happened. You thought that was as far as it goes. Then this envelope shows up and quietly tells you otherwise. You show up at the location, a plain government building in Delhi. No board outside, no sign. A man in a grey suit meets you at the door. Doesn't give his name, just walks. You follow. 6 hours of conversation. They know everything. Your father's loan from 2011. The girl in Dehradun you used to write letters to. The one mission report where you wrote a little less than what actually happened. The man across the table reads it all out like a grocery list. No emotion, no judgment. This is not a threat. This is a demonstration. You sign 17 documents. 3 of them, he tells you, do not legally exist. You get no copies. Your official designation is now a mid-level officer in the Ministry of External Affairs. That is what your family will know. That is what your record will say. That is what the world gets. What you actually are, that has no clean title yet. The next 9 months are spent at a facility near Mussoorie. No phone, no family visits. You learn how to follow someone without being seen. How to speak another language well enough to pass. How to build a completely fake identity. Fake name, fake past, fake memories. So convincing that you sometimes catch yourself believing it. One day, a trainer walks in. Flat voice, direct eyes. Stop thinking about yourself. The asset, the person you are protecting or handling, is always more important than you. If it ever comes down to you or the mission wins. Every single time. You nod. You don't fully understand it yet, but you will. Level 2. First assignment. First posting. Kathmandu, Nepal. On paper, you are a government trade officer. In reality, you are running a network of 3 people. A hotel worker, a money exchanger near Tamil, a mid-level government clerk. You meet each of them separately. Different locations every time, never the same place twice. There are no dramatic moments. Mostly you drink chai and listen. Whatever you find out, you send up the chain, and then that report disappears. You never find out what happened to it. You are not supposed to. You live in a small flat, cook your own food, attend consulate functions and make boring conversation about trade and weather. People meet you and forget you within 10 minutes. That is the job. 3 months in, the hotel worker gets nervous, says he wants out. Something scared him, he won't say what. You spend 2 weeks managing him. A little more money, more conversation, rebuilding his confidence. Then one day, he simply doesn't show up to work. The landlord says he left in the middle of the night with 1 bag. You file the report. The response comes back. Asset compromised. Close this connection. Await next posting. That's it. That night, you sit by the window. Kathmandu is cold and quiet outside. You think about that man, where he went, whether he is okay. Then you stop thinking about it. Nobody officially teaches you this part, but you learn it anyway. And once you learn it, you don't unlearn it. Level 3. First real work. 8 weeks back in India, then Dubai. Bigger network this time. 6 people. Some of them connected to Pakistani business circles with ISI links nearby. Your handler, a woman you only know as Priya ma'am, who you have never actually met in person, communicates through a protocol that changes every 72 hours. Dubai is different. One evening, a contact hands you a set of documents, a chain of Pakistani money moving through 3 Gulf countries into a Hawala network. The kind of intelligence that gets noticed up the chain. You photograph everything in a hotel bathroom at 1 in the morning. Upload it through an encrypted relay. Walk out into the Dubai night like you just finished a regular dinner. Something shifts inside you for the first time. Not pride. Something colder. A quiet satisfaction that you are operating in a space most people don't even know exists. Your first pressure job happens here too. A man needs to leave the city. He helps move certain people across certain borders, the wrong kind of people. Your job is not violence. Your job is to make his life in Dubai uncomfortable enough that he chooses to leave on his own. The right words reach his landlord. His employer hears something. A photograph. No note, no threat, just the photograph, is left in an envelope at his front door. 11 days later, he is on a flight to Lahore. You file it as a routine operation, because that is exactly what it was. Level 4. Inside the machine. Back in Delhi, but a different Delhi now. You have an actual office inside the building. No nameplate on the door. You don't go to the field anymore. You manage operators across 3 countries the same way you were once managed. Minimum information, maximum expectation. Now you see the system from the inside. Raw is not one clean organization. It is a collection of competing groups, all pulling in different directions. Resources are fought over. Credit gets taken from people who actually did the work. You realize quickly that the intelligence is not always the point. Sometimes the point is who delivers it and who gets to walk into the Joint Secretary's office. You brief the Joint Secretary for the first time in February. He listens for 4 minutes, asks 2 questions, nods once. You walk out. That is the entire transaction. Now your decisions directly affect people's lives. A contact in Bangladesh has become too expensive and too risky. You write the recommendation. Remove him. That means cut contact, stop payments, leave him in place with nothing. Clean bureaucratic language. Sent upward. Approved in 24 hours. You don't think about the person on the other end. You can't afford to. A separate fund comes with this level. 25 lakh rupees every quarter. No receipts required below a certain amount. It exists for places where official budgets don't reach. You get very good at understanding the difference between what something actually costs and what it officially costs. The gap between those two numbers, that is where the real work happens.
Level 5. The man behind the curtain. You are 41 years old. No record anywhere connects your name to intelligence work. Your official role sounds straightforward enough that nobody asks twice. But your actual job is running operations that don't go through normal channels. Operations that don't appear on any official list. Things the government cannot officially do, but cannot afford not to do. You don't just manage operators anymore. You are the person people call when something cannot be asked for through official channels. A retired general. An officer in the PMO who owes you a silence going back years. A former handler who now sits in the cabinet secretariat. You meet them separately, over chai, over lunch, in conversations that